Hello and welcome to the Lot to Unpack Here podcast. I'm Lee, also known as Bewildered Bee, and with me I have Alice
Hi, I'm Alice.
and Alex.
Hi, I'm Alex.
So you are. Alright, so before we get into this episode, we're gonna need to talk a little bit about some current events, by which I of course mean the demonstrations and the riots. This is
Yeah.
being recorded in the 11th, so it's probably gonna be about a week out of date when it's published, but still. Alex, you had some thoughts about it?
Well, I requested this be said because, we goof around a lot on this show, but it would just seem rude not to mention the revolution taking place.
Sure.
And I do mean revolution, like it does seem like that, like all over the world. It's been like kind of crazy and all kinds of like horrible stuff has happened. And yeah, but also a lot of progress has happened as well because of direct action and because of, the protests that are happening, and, I I've been told by a few people that they're just kind of sick of it and they're having, like, burnout from it and, they gotta have, like they don't wanna talk about it, but I'm like, "You kinda have to because it's there and it's been a long time coming." I feel like these riots are much in the same way as a natural disaster. Like, after having such a broken system, such an unfair system, across the world that's racist and sexist and transphobic and just everything battering on people, it was bound to happen that this would collapse and crash, and now we're seeing that on a huge scale. That's frankly unprecedented. Because for once, with the internet age, we are actually seeing human rights abuses in real time, having authorities lie about the human rights abuses, and then failing to cover it up
In real time.
in real time, and expecting things to be as business as usual. But the fact is that it is happening, and it's not going to go back to normal. God help us all if it does go all back to normal, because normal was fucked up.
Yeah, it
It
was.
was intolerable. And now we're seeing a mass amount of change that will come from this, and it is no back to normal, and that is I'm not even sure if I have an overall point, but I'm just saying this is happening, and it's just an inevitable consequence of how fucked up the system is.
Hmm.
True.
It burnt down the McDonald's, didn't you hear? It
Oh
burnt.
no, not the
McDonald
McDonald's.
McDonald's has fallen.
McDonald's has
Not the Golden Arches!
fallen.
However, will we live on Ronald McDonald's golden thick arches?
Look, Grimace is crying!
I'm crying. The Hamburglar is gonna go free if there are no police and no Ronald McDonald to catch him. The
But
Hamburglar is gonna wander free on the streets.
yeah, but yeah. So should I say what should be said, or
Yeah, I
What
think you
what is
should
it that should be
say
said?
it.
Black Lives Matter? All cops are bastards. No justice, no peace.
Yeah, sure. Also shout out
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the
sure, whatever else.
no, yeah, but true. True, but we gotta give you shout outs here. Minneapolis just abolishing the police.
I wanted to fucking talk about that for a second. Like, what was something that was, I think, just unthinkable to even
Yeah,
me at the time?
yeah,
I will happily hold up my hands. I
yeah,
am.
yeah. A few weeks ago, I was like, okay, yeah, abolishing the police would be based and cool, but like we shouldn't argue about it in public. It's too radical. And then Minneapolis like, fucking, let's go, let's abolish the fucking police. No more police 2020. Fucking owns.
It is kind of like, yeah. I've shut my mouth on quite a few issues because of this. Because things that I thought were impossible or like unrealistic, like after after direct action, like it is. It's happening right now. And yeah, I will happily show my belt. I'm fully raising my hands to abolitionists. They're
Yeah.
actually getting it done. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I was wrong on that front. And
Also,
like it's
it's sorry, go on.
I was saying also as well, I've had, I mean, again, I'm not sure if like, most people are ignorant on this or something, but this whole police taking a knee and like marching with protesters and stuff to only turn around like within half an hour and just fire tear gas at them.
Yeah, yeah. Like the same police that was like one of the police was kneeling with protesters was like the same guy who like walked past the old guy after he'd been beaten over the head with the
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. This
Mhm.
is this is the thing that that blows my mind because those are the kind of these crocodile, tactics, of being exposed for what they are. People will still say, "Oh yeah, hashtag not a cops." Oh no, stop getting down on people who are building bridges with police, and it's just been proven over and over again that that's not what's going on here. They don't want to actually talk. It is all purely for show, and they're just so bad at concealing it now. It just blows my mind
Yeah.
that people
Yeah.
are still adamantly like, "Oh, you mustn't talk like that about the police. Oh, you must like, build bridges with them and stuff." And it's like, well, when shit like that happens, it's pointless. It's just pointless. Like you might as well just kneel and take the boot to your face, when faced with this. Oh, one good thing that's come out of all of this though
Yeah.
is that Little Britain's been cancelled again. Yay! We did it,
I
gang! We did it!
before I saw Little Britain at the recommendation of a friend,
Oh,
I
what? Did you
didn't
cut ties with that friend afterwards? Like, Jesus Christ. I'm so sorry.
before I saw that, I didn't truly know what the expression painfully unfunny meant. But then I forced myself to sit through about 10 minutes of Little Britain and I really wanted to kill myself watching
I'm
that.
surprised you made it that long. I had to fucking listen for it. Because this is the thing, because dipshits in my country just for some reason have a huge nostalgia for this piece of shit. And I can save you the trouble right now because I did watch the first episode, like half of the jokes they repeat verbatim, like over countless series. And they only have like I mean, to be fair, it's one more joke than most transphobes had. They have like 4 jokes
Yeah.
and they repeat it over and over again. Like they started off an entire, you know, cottage industry of comedy in my country where it's just repeating the same sketches over and over again with a laugh track and calling
Yeah.
that comedy. And
Yeah, I
like
always whenever like Brits get uptight about how their sitcoms are better than Americans, I always think of
haha.
Little Britain.
And you know what's really funny as well? That's actually funny apart from Little Britain is that,
Yeah.
because like they were going to reboot it, you know, for like 2 months ago. As if we haven't suffered enough, through the pandemic. We have to watch this shit. They they were gonna reboot everything and they were gonna do the whole thing. Matt Lucas and David Walliams were saying previously, like, "Oh man, we really shouldn't have done all those transphobic jokes, with the I'm a lady sketch,
Yeah.
and put on dresses." And then immediately just betray that by doing the I'm a lady the I'm a lady sketch, as part of their pitch to
Yeah.
bring it back. And now all of that in after 2 months of hype for this is just gone forever from
Woo! We did
BritBox,
it, gamers!
from Netflix, from the
The
BBC.
evil has been
And
defeated.
the one thing is that apparently their DVD sales for for the Little Britain series and Come Fly With Me, which is also painfully unfunny, the DVD sales for those shows have increased 2,000%, which sounds impressive, but the percentage originally was 0. So
Oh,
so,
ouch.
I'm just gonna say, I'm calling it now. It's gonna be like Family Guy, like no Family Guy. Everybody when it was cancelled, they bought all the DVDs and stuff, and it developed a cult following. Now all I see on like marketplaces is fucking Family Guy DVDs and copies of the 50 Shades of Grey. all these things that people bought to own the libs or just to see what it was like, just fucking worthless. The thing that makes me sad is that I know in like 2 years it's going to be the same with Little Britain. There's just going to be market stalls everywhere with Little Britain DVDs that people bought to own the libs
Yo,
because they got
don't think,
cancelled.
yo, don't judge me too hard for this because I was a preteen at the time. I used to own like season 1 to, I don't know, 12 of Family Guy on DVD in a box set. And I did sell it at a flea market.
Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
sell it at a fucking flea market.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we all
Yeah.
had this thing of buying it to see what it was like, and to own the libs, and we watched it, and after a while, we were just sort of like, oh, actually, this isn't that good.
Yeah. Actually, should we mention some of like the wild shit in reaction to the protests?
Go for it.
Okay, so Antifa's now a terrorist organization according to America.
Great.
Very cool.
Love to see them enforce that.
Anonymous have showed their heads again. Nice one, lads.
Yeah, and they have stands now. People are making fan cams for them, which owns. They have like the same kind of following you'd expect a K-pop group to have, with people making fan cams of them. It's great.
Speaking of K-pop.
Speaking of K-pop, we've redeemed ourselves. We've gone from we've gone from everyone's least favorite fandom that I was kind of ashamed to be a part of, to to the fucking soldiers of Twitter fighting against racism.
You are the Antifa super soldiers.
K-pop stands truly are the Antifa super soldiers.
Yeah. And
fucking abolish the police stand Dreamcatcher, okay?
Witches on the internet did curses and hexes.
Hell
and then the Christians were praying for protection for them. And then 2 police officers have mysteriously been hit by lightning.
Wait, what?
I didn't hear the lightning part. That owns.
Yeah.
I've not heard of it. What?
Oh, that's
oh my god, witchcraft is real.
Witchcraft
get fucked, J.K. Rowling. Get fucked. We got real magic now.
Oh, also, whilst we're talking about it, J.K. Rowling made another bad tweet.
Yeah.
Oh.
She won't fucking stop.
She won't fucking stop. She's doubling down on her transphobia. Everyone's been saying she's been transphobic. And she's saying, well, wow, I'm a millionaire who's got a critically acclaimed book series that's impacted loads of people, and I'm being silenced by someone calling me a 4-letter word on the internet.
Well, then shut the fuck up then if you're being silenced, JK, for God's sake.
Also, read another book. Any book. Please, God, any book. I don't care which, just read another book.
Oh, for everyone listening as well, in case you're wondering, I'm a Hufflepuff.
Oh God, I'm not even participating in this conversation.
No shit, you were taking the Pottermore quiz. By the way, the Pottermore quiz, funnily enough, includes a genital scan. It's a bit of a new addition. Yep. No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
it's not.
Sure.
Can you imagine though?
Also, I'm Ravenclaw.
I refuse to participate. I'm not
that's-
any fucking house. I'm a muggle or whatever it's called. I'm not a fucking wizard. I'm not in any house. Fuck the houses.
Lee,
It's so brave of you to come out like that.
I don't want to break it to you, Lee, but that's a very Slytherin thing to say.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah. What else? What else
Also,
has happened?
before we get on with the show, I need to give a shout out to, and this might age very poorly depending on what happens within the next week, but shout out to the Zone, the Cool Zone, the Chess Zone, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. Shout out.
Yes.
Oh,
the Zone owns. It's so cool.
The Zone owns.
I hope that when this is published, the Zone has not been brutally crushed by the police state.
Well, I mean, this has never happened to anarchist zones before. I mean, I've never heard of anyone getting crushed instantly. No, but in all seriousness, though, I mean, yeah, it doesn't bode well historically, but it owns, and I wish them the very best.
Yeah, Trump already made a tweet about tweeting at Jay Inslee crush this rebellion or I will, which is a very normal and not fascist thing to say.
Yeah. Like, hang on. So it's the Seattle Capitol Hill. So right, I don't know the surrounding area, but if they're on a hill, that's good. That's a tactical
yeah,
advantage.
they have the high ground.
They have the high ground. Let's see. Currently, the enemy, the United States, is like quite politically unstable. So they've got that.
Yeah.
What was
Shout out to the
Censurio's role?
anarcho-communist cool zone. We stand.
Yeah, we stand. Also, if you have been brutally suppressed, our thoughts and prayers, and we will carry the revolution.
Thoughts and prayers. The most effective means of support, as we all know.
And it worked. It worked.
It went
Too
lightning!
com-
Summon lightning from the sky!
We're putting out a hex against the United States.
Do 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 do.
Doo-doo-doo-doo. Alright, so to get into some lighter territory here, Alex, you wanna tell us about a true internet icon?
I gotta talk about the Wonder Bread
The
guy.
wonderbread guy,
I'm
we stand the wonderbread guy.
I'm dying to talk from the very first episode. I mean, we had so much to get through already, but this is what I've been holding on to for a while. I I'm fascinated with this man. He is like, oh god, where do I even start? Okay, I guess I'll start from the beginning when it was discovered. Basically, uh, it started from a post by then Tumblr user Wet Monsoon, which reads, "Part of me believes that if you have a weird kink, it's tolerable, as long as it isn't like absolutely disgusting slash harmful. But then again, I was just contacted by the notorious DeviantArt white bread fetish guy who wanted me to draw a plump, rich, blonde, blue-eyed white woman with huge titties, stuffing her shopping cart full of white bread, and I do have to wonder, how much? How much am I willing to tolerate? At what point do I just give up?" And from that, a bunch of people, got together and they found like, wait a minute, there's like I was contacted by the DeviantArt white bread fetish guy. I was asked to draw a plump, rich, blonde, blue-eyed white woman with huge titties stuffing just shopping cart full of white bread. And yeah, it's like yeah, Wet Monsoon comes up with this and there's like dozens of people came forward. There's this guy who sends artists vague commission requests, and upon the artist asking what he has in mind, he proceeds to send a detailed request about a rich women shopping in a grocery store full of expensive Wonder Bread and overflowing their carts of it.
The way this is worded reads like a crime report. The victims
It
that
is, well,
came
that's kind of like
forward.
what Tumblr was for a while. It's like a crime report. Uh yeah, it's just like I don't know if any of the artists he ropes in know that it's a fetish thing,
I
but
mean, they
he
got
knew
it.
right away.
They got
They
it.
got it.
Like when someone's asking you about a plump woman stuffing Wonder Bread in her shopping cart, that's so weirdly specific that it can't not be a fetish thing.
I'm okay. I've gotta show you the many pictures that there is an entire collection of it on Know Your Meme.
Right, I'll probably make a Imgur album of
Yeah.
it and link it below so you can see it for context.
Yeah, I don't know, so, like, this is the thing because even though all of these pictures are safe for work, they still feel really
They
dirty.
do,
I don't know how
yes.
it's like, they just feel it's really, really
Yeah,
dirty.
yeah. When it's like something, even if it looks safe for work, but you know someone's jerking off to that, you do kind of get that feeling.
But this is the thing, because this is the thing, we talk about it jerking off to it, and, after a load of people came forward and started posting their own, like, "Here's an example of it."
Right, we're looking at a muscular woman wearing sunglasses, stuffing Wonder Bread in her shopping cart.
And here's one of Pacifica Northwest, which is a character from Gravity Falls, doing exactly the same thing. Just stuffing bread in her shopping cart, going, "Mom and me are going out for a private picnic today. We're gonna bulldoze some rainforest just to make the perfect spot.
I have not seen Gravity Falls, so I don't know if that's in character
No,
for her.
she doesn't do that in the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
She doesn't do that in the
Like,
show. I will say that now.
okay, so I've not seen a lot of Gravity Falls, but from what I know, she's just like your stereotypical, like, mean girls, rich bitch kind of, character.
Yeah, she does. Yeah, I mean, she gets like better with character development, but
Yeah.
that is her archetype basically,
Yeah.
and why she was chosen. He really likes her. Like, he really, really likes her.
Are there more of specifically of her?
Oh yeah, specifically Pacifica Northwest. Now, I will say as well that although she's not drawn like that, she is a very young character. She is underage, which
Oh,
makes this a bit more
yeah.
creepy. So yeah, there's a lot of like the Wonderbread stuff, but also a lot he commissions of just like of burning down
This
rainforest
is the most
pollution.
specific fetish. Burning down rainforests and shopping for wonderbread. This is the most specific fetish.
I mean, it's this is the thing. It's the details that fascinate me. Like you can see in one of the pictures, one of the signs up there, it's all white bread, and it's just a whole, you know, load of white Wonder Bread, just Wonder
All
Bread. Like no
white,
supermarket is
no
like that.
organics.
No organic. Yeah, up at the top, no organics.
I
That's
love
very
in the
important.
third pic here, the toothpicks factory. Off to work at the toothpicks factory. Burning down some forests at the toothpicks factory.
I mean, that just gets his boner harder. Like it really does. There's a lot of that. I'll give you another one as well, which I love. It fascinates me. Uh, especially, this one's actually quite well done. This is the thing. Like I I don't know what the artist felt about this, but like obviously they did get paid for it, so
Yeah,
they did a good job. This is the thing. They're doing good art, but I do have to wonder, did they know?
they
Like this.
must have known. It's impossible that they didn't know when someone gives you when someone gives you something this detailed, like as this like specific a description.
Like I love this picture as well because this happens a lot. Like instead of reducing the price of bread, they have sales where it goes from $400 to $500 for Wonder Bread.
Wonderbird's guy is a fucking visionary. Wonderbread should
Yes.
hire him
Absolutely. I mean, like, I mean, how could you not? I mean,
as their PR
look at
coordinator.
I want to make a joke, but I'm just absolutely scared that I'll give this guy an idea.
No, go on. Go on, please.
The price is just being adjusted for inflation.
Yeah.
oh,
Oh,
inflation in my
inflation. Oh,
pants.
don't give him an inflation fetish too. Oh no.
Like, this is my favorite one as well because he combines his fetish of forest devastation and Wonder Bread and Busty Ladies in one picture. Look what the chainsaw is made out of.
Ooh, clever.
It's a Wonder Bread chainsaw.
Nice, nice. Do we know who this character is?
I think that's the mom from Dexter's Laboratory.
Oh, okay, sure.
Now, I mean, you get the idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's oh yeah, he even has one like where he has a Sandwich Land deforestation themed roller coaster park. And this one's just plain disturbing. Again, it's like this is very creative, but I mean, the fuck? This is the thing. When I first discovered this guy, I was trying to, deconstruct what this guy's fetish is and how he got to this point. Like, what made him like this? What is the psychology?
I'm actively losing sanity points looking at the little girl
Yeah,
there.
I know. And the thing is, like, it's got bacon in the Wonder Bread sandwich as well. Like, that is grease down
Oh,
her
oh
face. That
god.
is disgusting. I know. Also, by the way,
Deforestation roller coaster
I swear to you,
sandwich
I've told you,
land.
it's a
Ripping minds.
and the sandwich, the S in sandwich is a dollar sign as well. Stripping
Yeah.
mines. Look at the fucking Ferris wheel. Stripping mines Ferris
Yeah.
wheel. This is
Oh wow.
There have been many, many questions asked across the ages. What is the best way to organize our society? How is the best way to make a family? Who should we love? Who are we? And what the fuck is up with Wonderbread guy?
That's what I asked when I saw all these pictures. It's like I'm trying to decode okay, I'll be out in the open here. I'm a kinky person. And one of
Sure.
my I mean, I know everyone is surprised. Don't worry, I'll let you all just
I'm
settle in.
absolutely shocked and appalled. I will
Yeah,
report you to the horny police, Alex.
that's true. I know, I deserve it. I deserve it.
Bonk.
Yes.
Abolish
Oh
all
yes.
police except the
Yes,
horny
punish
police
me.
if they're
No!
clearly needed. No!
Punish me.
No!
Alex, no. No, Alice, look what you've done, Alice.
No!
I'm reporting you to the
I
horny
need to be
police.
locked in.
Psych! My kink is handcuffs. Psych, the horny police can't hurt me. They will only
Uh,
make me stronger.
sidebar as well during a role play to an ex who will remain nameless, but they know who they are. I once, you know, I once a role play had to end because they were laughing so much because one of my lines to them was, "You've been arrested for maid crimes."
Nice, nice.
That's one of my proudest moments, and I just wanted to highlight that
Amazing.
there. Um, I don't know what to talk
Anyway, getting back
Anyway,
to the
yeah.
subject at hand.
Anyway, Wonder
Anyway,
Bread
Wonder
guy.
Bread guy.
Anyway, yeah, basically I was just fascinated with this guy because, like, I sometimes when you're in a kink community, I just there's reasons why people have certain kinks. It's not just like there's a one experience that they have, or something that they're missing in their lives that is sort of like being fulfilled by doing the kink play. That could be whatever reason, not necessarily a dark reason, just a reason. Like for instance, like they got like spanked in Catholic school, and now they have a Catholic nun fetish. That sort of shit. But
Or
I
they bought Totally Spice as a kid, and now they have like a dozen different fetishes.
oh, you bet that this guy had. This is the weird thing because I think that he didn't actually have a Totally Spies folder for it. You'd think that that would be like, the main thing that he would commission, but no, it's
Yeah, I
really
mean
unexpected.
that is the show for strange fetishes. I loved it as a kid, but looking back at it, there's some weird stuff
I
in there.
did watch I will say this, I did watch Totally Spies when, I was a young'un, and I blame that for most of my
Yeah, same.
current situation.
Same.
Same. Totally Spice have ruined all of us.
It's just yeah, I mean, but usually there is sort of a reason, like, there's even a TV show or something that you watch that explains it, but I cannot, for the life of me, figure out what Wonder Bread Guy's deal is.
Maybe
And
he maybe he has a weird Oedipus complex thing going on, and his mom used to buy Wonder Bread, and he just has this image in his head of standing at the supermarket, watching his mom pick up the Wonder Bread or
well,
something.
it's not that, because there is an explanation that's emerged from the internet.
Oh, okay.
Because Wonder Bread Guy has been revealed.
Oh?
Oh
He
shit.
was he was DeviantArt user Merlogic1, which has now been deactivated because unfortunately he was revealed and mercilessly mocked on the internet. Because of course. But a friend of his actually came out uh, on March 3rd, 2018. The user Joyful Attic claimed to know and have spoken to Merlogic1 and wrote this. He absolutely was not just a normal guy with a weird kink. This shit was his life pretty much.
Oh no.
He had lots of talk about consumerism, slavery, and capitalism, and why they were all good things, almost to the point of a religion to him. He tried talking to me about his commission of a comic of, I believe, a Sami cutting down a rainforest. That's a Sami from, it's the Legend of Korra, I believe.
Oh right.
Yeah, cutting down a rainforest and industrializing it. And like weird undertone of loving sandwiches. Everything he talked about in this aspect came down to sandwiches with him. He spent thousands of dollars, if not more, on commissions for Asami abusing Korra, Asami owning a sandwich factory and slave labor.
Asami is really fucking hot. I can't blame him.
I mean,
Honestly.
yeah, good choice. Good
Good
choice.
choice, absolutely.
Blonde women own sandwich factories and cutting down large expanses of forests. And the list goes on to other really strange stuff, but none of it inherently sexual. I beg to differ, sir.
Maybe not inherently sexual to the rest of us, but to wonderbread guy, oh, it absolutely is.
I have big
It is the
doubts.
most sexual thing to wonderbread guy.
Okay.
The only
I have a
yeah, go
theory.
on.
I have a theory.
Go on, Alice.
Okay. Is pro-slavery, pro-industrialization, pro-capitalism, weirdly obsessed with sandwiches. My dude is an industrialist Victorian.
Well, like he just sort of got floated into the present day.
This is the, like, this is my wholesome alternative theory to the very sinful theories that have been posted.
Well, I'm sorry, but the sinful theories just sound more accurate in this case. Or maybe it
I
could
mean,
be like industrialist Victorian who also has a wonderbread fetish, but this is a fetish and there's no getting around it.
I think maybe if he was like a Victorian that's been flung into our future, like, they were quite, trying to repress that sort of thing in the Victorian era, at least keeping it down. But with the internet, suddenly all of these dark desires can be catered to at every given moment. So his little Victorian brain is just exploded into a Wonder Bread fetish.
True.
The only time I've known this is again his friend talking about him. The only time I've known something sexual was his commission for Shadman. Now, if anybody,
That name sounds
doesn't
very
yeah,
familiar. Oh
oh,
wait,
you
no,
should know it.
he's the lonely guy, right?
Well, he's like he's a bad man. He's a kind of notorious um, artist who gets into trouble for, you know, all kind you know, all kinds of Rule 34 stuff, like he just stuff that goes far too far.
He's the pedo art guy, right?
Yeah, he's the pedo art guy.
He
He
did
yeah,
like
he
he did like porn of like Keemstar's like kid daughter or something and a lot of like real kids
yeah,
and
a
shit.
real person. Yeah,
Yeah,
and he said,
real
"Oh, well,
children, not good.
it's a drawing. It's not illegal." Sorry, yeah. He's drawn some like safe for work comics as well, which gets him to the top, and then people remember that he's a pedophile and and
Yeah,
immediately
yeah.
it also does
Like, I remember one time when I was like on Tumblr, like he got like in a lot of trouble in the furry community for drawing pup porn, puppy.
Oh god.
oh
Sorry, no, not puppy. Cub,
Pub, right?
cub.
Pub,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's the expression they use.
Don't ask me why I know that. I've just been on the internet for too long. I have a lot of accursed
Look,
Eldritch
this
knowledge.
this is what happens with like millennial Zoomer things. We spend too much time on the internet. We get to know things. Like,
Yeah, we get to know about the Chadmen and the Wonder Bread guys of the internet. It's not good.
if you're from the year like 2050 or 2060 or something, I'm so sorry for like all the cultural references you will not get.
Even if
the
you're
acting
like,
is
even if you were born in like the 90s, like the early 90s something, or God forbid the 80s. Yeah, I'm sorry for the culture references.
I
And
I
that
was
also.
I was born early 90s.
Oh shit! All
I was
right, you
born
were.
late 80s.
Oh, you
I'm ancient.
boomers! Oh shit!
I'm a
Everyone is a boomer. You fuck.
sorry.
Technically speaking, I am just barely a millennial.
Okay, boomer.
Okay, Zuma.
Okay, well, we're now acquainted with Shadman being an awful person who does
Yeah.
awful works of art,
Uh,
who is
yeah.
awful illegal works of art. The same Shadman turned down this commission from Wonderbread guy because it was too much for him. I'm not kidding.
Wait, shit, what was the commission off? Was it just the normal
Okay,
stuff?
it's
Or?
right here. No, it's the only time I known something sexual was his commission for Shadman, which was, to the best of my memory, him asking Shadman to draw Korra and Asami abuse porn, with the focus on Korra having a limp dick. That's the most he remembers from the screenshots that he showed. Again, because this guy is having a full-on conversation with Merlogic and sharing screenshots.
Was Shadman's problem just that they were too old for him?
Maybe. Was it the limp dick? I mean, this is again, we don't know. Yeah, which he did show off until he was just ranting about how unprofessional Shadman was at refusing to draw his commission. And
That's
like,
the that's the big problem with Shadman, how unprofessional he is. There's no other issue with him.
and I gotta say, yeah, it did shock me when I found that out that there is a line that Shadman draws, and it's that. Although I don't have a
There
copy
is
of
a
the
line that Shadman
yeah,
draws for what lines he's willing to draw for someone.
exactly.
Wait, you mean
And
Shadman draws lines? An artist draws lines?
Yeah, yeah, that was my pun, yes.
yeah.
That is de fact the joke.
And yeah, yeah,
But big question: does Shadman do lines? Like, because
probably. Considering I've seen like him draw, pictures of the Totally Spies getting like napalmed.
I mean, that just
Like actually
I mean,
napalmed,
I
like
can't blame anyone for drawing anything with Totally Spies, like, that's just what happens when you watch Totally Spies. It
I
fucks
know,
you
but
up.
even for Totally Spies, and like for me, it's like he draws it in realistic detail as for a commission, and that's disturbing. I mean,
Oh,
that's
true.
aside from the pedophilic stuff that he draws.
Look, I know that
Yeah,
Totally Spies is like, what is it, like Italian or something, right?
I think so.
Wasn't it? Yeah, but I still get the feeling it's like a CIA project to corrupt the minds of youth. It's like MK Ultra but with cartoon.
Well, it worked.
we're getting into some like real tanky talk here. uh,
What? Just being anti-CIA is tanky.
I thought the CIA were leftists. I thought they were on our side because according to China, they're feminizing the males.
I mean, that's true. I don't know why that's news to anybody.
If the CIA did that, it would be cool and based, but alas.
Oh Jesus!
No. Anyway,
I hate this. I hate this episode so much.
I mean, I wanted to like talk. By the way, I want to like personally apologize to both of you for Gigi Allen yesterday, like for sending you the cursed
Yes.
content that like infected your
Oh,
brains
that.
and your search
Yeah.
histories.
Yeah,
Like
Yes.
it's
I re-listened to that episode and I could just see it just everybody just getting more depressed and upset.
yeah. I mean, like, I know we usually talk shit about people, but you were actually talking about shit.
I mean, we do that like every episode though.
It's true. It's just a running theme. Yeah.
It is unfortunately a running theme.
Oh my god. Okay, anyway. He rounds off the post, Merlogic's friend, by saying, the way he fucking talks is just something mind-blowing to see a man this far stuck up his own little hole. On a more dark and serious subject, he has been fired from his job and possibly disowned from his family for this kind of stuff.
How bad does your Wonder Bread fetish have to get that you're disowned from your family
I
because of
mean,
it?
it's not just the Wonder Bread stuff. He
Oh
said
yeah, sure.
he said he talked about assaulting, sexually assaulting, and insulting the race or sexuality of his coworkers. People
Oh,
caught on
sure.
that he was kind of fucked up and emailed his boss over that stuff and got him fired. I got to watch as he complained about it, and the entire forum he was on talking about how it blew up for a good solid 2 hours over how fucked up this guy is for thinking he did nothing wrong and insulting everyone. It was bonkers. And it just ends with, "Please do not give Merlogic commissions. His money isn't worth being associated with this man. Overall, he's a very disgusting person, and while it's fun to point and laugh, he really is not someone who should be given the time of day." But Reddit gave him the time of day by conducting an Ask Me Anything thread on Reddit.
Oh
Oh
no.
shit! Oh shit! I want to know what they.
Uh,
I don't know what they.
Yeah.
it's a gamer place,
Uh,
isn't it?
yeah, he did. Over the next few years, Merlogic conducted AMAs both on Reddit and DeviantArt in which he discussed his attraction to the themes vaguely, saying, "My first job I had was at a job called Bounty Farm, which was funded and supervised by an organization referred to as the Petaluma People's Service Center. I met my now ex-girlfriend at this place. Ex-girlfriend is capitalized, by the way.
I'm very surprised that he had a girlfriend at any point. Honestly.
When I was finally ready to go to her old apartment in Roebuck Park and she let me touch her tits while we watched Howl's Moving Castle, they reminded me of wonderbread, since I was trying to pinpoint what the texture of breasts reminded me of the most, and wonderbread came the closest. We have our answer!
Imagine you're trying to fucking watch. Look, you're doing Howl's Moving Castle and chill, and suddenly this guy goes just, yo, we should get some Wonder Bread.
I can just imagine him like getting the Wonder Bread and just fondling them in the supermarkets, like just for a really long time. And
Yeah.
you know, just sir, can you, sir, what you're doing isn't illegal, sir. But could you please not do it, sir?
I
Please.
can imagine him like doing the sort of Ted Bundy-esque stunts where like pretends to be handicapped and need crutches to walk, just so he can be like, "Please, ma'am, I need help getting the Wonder Bread. My arms are too weak. Can you please get the Wonder Bread and put it in my shopping cart?" And he's just standing there watching as she gets the Wonder Bread for him. Like that's what I imagine his shopping trips are
Oh my
like.
god.
He's doing the Ted
Ah,
Bundy thing, but specifically to get Wonder Bread, not to kill anyone.
Jesus Christ.
Only slightly more innocent than Ted Bundy.
Oh my god. I just. It does have a not so happy ending, though.
Oh
Ugh.
I mean,
shit.
it was never gonna have a happy ending, but
Of course it wasn't. Nothing on this show ever
uh,
has a fucking happy ending.
Let's get to the depressing part. What happened?
well, he got doxxed, March 8th, 2018. Actually, let me look at the timeline here. Yeah, the meme started, like, him basically, like, people finding out that this guy was just commissioning a load of stuff, what started in 2016, and his friend, has a go at him and posts a post on March 3rd, and, like, he does the AMA on Reddit, and on March 8th, only a couple of days after this blew up, he gets doxxed.
Oh shit.
He responds to his own, to his own thread as well on Kiwi Farms. Never a good idea. Just the worst idea ever.
Yeah, I mean, the expression "don't feed the trolls" is very applicable when it comes to responding to your own dog's threads on fucking Kiwi farms.
Yeah,
If there ever was a time to not feed the trolls, that's the time.
and sadly, his DeviantArt page, which, is full of, like, the art in question, has, is it's now been deactivated, and it has been
Fuck,
deactivated ever since
fuck,
then.
F's in chat.
It's still up there on the Wayback Machine, so you can peruse it at your leisure, but
Why
it's officially gone now.
why are we talking about people toppling statues into the sea when we need to talk about the real destruction of art? The cancellation of Wonder Bread guys' deviant art.
Exactly. Oh my god. It makes me so angry as well. I mean, well, that's the thing, because I think that as awful as this guy is, as just the worst person with the worst opinions,
Oh my god, he has an inflation fetish too. Oh fuck,
of course he
Alex,
has.
your joke came true.
Fuck's sake! Fucking hell!
Oh fuck. Sorry, what were you saying, Alex?
I don't know. Yeah.
I want to smash plates. I want to smash plates. Actually, I am angry. I don't know why I'm angry.
I'm more fascinated than angry. I'm angry that the internet let this guy
Oh.
fucking go. He was a treasure, a true treasure, a true artiste,
Oh.
and they
Lee.
destroyed him. They ruined him.
Lee, why are you like this?
This is fascinating. Look at this shit.
I know it's fascinating. I know it's fascinating, but I'm also angry. I'm fantastically angry at this guy.
I'm angry at the people who doxed him and forced him off the internet. I'm not angry with wonderbread guy. Wonderbread guy did some things wrong, but I was gonna say he did nothing wrong, then I realized he probably did, but
Yeah, I think he's definitely done something wrong. I'm actually looking at the AMA for the first time to see other things that he ever said, other than that mind-blowing quote just revealing the lore of his fetish. And someone, Qt Software 5 asks, maybe this is a weird question, but what is the Wonder Bread in these actually made of? Is it cocaine? And Merlogic responds, one of the main ingredients.
oh shit, your prediction about him doing lines also came through.
That's true, yeah.
Just
Oh
any
god.
prediction you make about this guy, he'll probably have fetish art of it.
I gotta say, like for this is like news to me a little bit. I only like did the research for the podcast update. Well, I already had a folder of this guy because I was just obsessed with Wonder Red Grant and just
Fair.
decoding his fetish. And now that I know it, I'm actually kind of disappointed. You know, I'm like, it is just like, I mean, it is still interesting. His Wonder Bread tit fetish, but I was expecting some like trauma, like getting toppled in the Wonder Bread aisle. Just loads of Wonder
No, he
Bread on
just
top of
like
him and the cashier trying to, like, stop him, but just crushing him even further.
no, he's like one of those serial killers who just don't have any childhood trauma, and you're like, fuck, I want some explanation why this guy turned out this way. Like with BTK, like come on, there's gotta be something. There's gotta be something in this childhood going on, and it's like, no trauma. He just kind of was that way. And you're like, fuck, there's gotta be something. Come on. And it's like, no, nothing.
No,
Same with this
normal
guy.
childhood.
Yeah, it sucks when there's no explanation for it.
It's so weird. He does, like, a really long post as well, further explaining his, like, his fetish here. It's like, Merlodge, Yenwood asks, I have to ask, is this actually a fetish thing? Like, do you masturbate to this? I've always assumed it was a fetish because this guy of single-minded obsession over something weird is almost always a kink. That's a
Yeah.
fair assessment. And Merlogic responds with like a large wall of text. Like a large wall of text. I'll try and get through it all.
Is there a TLDR on the 12 text, or is it just like,
Not no, this is
oh
not a
god.
man that's too long, don't read. All of this stuff is important and he has to get it out.
Right, of course.
Merlogic, it's a parallel on how normally society identifies negative stereotypes, but they only ever stereotype it in a certain way that fits their narrative. Let me explain it like
Sorry,
this.
what the fuck?
I know, that's like rather than say, "No, it's not a fetish," he leads with that.
I mean, if
How
it's
often
like a large wall of text to justify how it's not a fetish, at that
it's a
point,
fetish.
the lady
Mhm.
doth protest too much.
He continues, "How often do you watch cartoons or animation capitalized? Of any variety where they decide to do an episode where the theme of the episode is about spreading either an environmental message or they create a character for the sole purpose of helping to spread an environmental message. When people, animators, writers, whatever, feel the need to make plots like this, their archetype of choice on how they write the episode is let's draw a white, tall, shady looking, sometimes fat, really depends on how cartoonish the show in question is, billionaire, one-dimensional character who doesn't care or think about the long-term consequences for his actions, because as long as it continues to make money, he doesn't give a shit. They have been making this one type of character in the industry for years, capitalized.
Those
I
kind of characters are, I don't know, they're, I guess, one-dimensional, but they're not cartoonish enough. What you really want is the like forest warrior shit where they don't even want to make money. They just really fucking hate trees for no reason. That's what you
also
want to do.
also this guy is complaining about cartoonishness from cartoons.
Yeah.
The fuck are you watching, man? What do you expect?
Yeah, these
And
stereotypical, easy to understand, one-dimensional characters
it's
in like
like they were written
cartoon.
for children.
Yeah, it's like it was written for children, yeah.
Oh, and he continues, I am so sick of seeing these characters like this, not because it's a bad character type, but because it's demonized to where people start to think, man, why would they ever draw a female equivalent to a character like this? It doesn't exist. And yeah, it's hard how in the real world you need to really think about if such a character like this could ever exist in the real world. Which is probably why it's so easy to make a character like they have been making for what feels like forever now in the cartoon world. Because that one character can represent either one type of person that fits that narrative or a whole group of people that could fit that narrative. I'm just saying, we live in a world where a female equivalent of this character I am describing is very rarely seen. So I wanted to bring more attention to this fact by
So
making more of them.
so he's actually not doing king fetish stuff. He's just deconstructing the environmental cartoons, I
He
guess.
just wants he just wants more representation for arsehole white women.
Let deforesters be women and bread.
More female deforesters.
It's just I'm gonna continue this thread. This is incredible. He says, "I want to do more AMAs if possible. I want to be able to answer everyone's questions as effectively as possible." Oh, that didn't go so well, Merlogic.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, yeah. I've actually rendered myself speechless. That never happened. That's never happened before. Usually, it's the other way around, where I just explain really, truly, unbelievably terrible stuff, and you all have a breakdown. But I've given myself a breakdown.
I ain't like
Nice, nice.
I just like throughout this entire segment, I've just like I've actually forgotten most of what Alex has said. Like I've just zoned out or dissociated or something just to like, go through with it.
Yeah, you have to disassociate to psychically protect yourself from the trauma of learning about Wonderbread guy. Yeah,
uh cool.
post-traumatic Wonderbread syndrome.
What? No, no.
That's what you have. You're disassociating to protect yourself from the trauma of learning about Wonderbread guy. It's post-traumatic Wonderbread syndrome.
Yes. So, Alex, what is Plunder Fred's fate?
Plunder threads.
The plunderful guy. I mean, we don't know. I mean, he's deactivated his whole account, and he's only got the archives there. And the last that we really see of him is in response to his own Kiwi Farms threads, where he's just pleading with them to not ruin his life like they did Chris Chan. And Kiwi Farms give the regular response saying, "No, no, no, we wouldn't do that. No, we wouldn't." As the snake, the snake tongue just flips from their lips a bit. And yeah, of course, he's just kind of dropped off the face of the planet now. We only have the memes and dreams of him.
Okay, I'm looking through some. I don't know. Search Logic one on Reddit here. There's one guy here claiming that like Wonderbread guy is like into wrestling now, but that's like
What?
yeah. There's one guy here claiming that, but that's just like take that with a grain of salt because it's just some random guy on Reddit with no proof for it. But that's what he's
That's
claiming
true.
at least, and I could see that. I mean, he does have some muscular women in his like depictions of Wonderbread women here. I could see him being into like female martial
Yeah,
arts.
like they're like suplexing a tree and deforesting the whole place. I can see that as a natural progression.
Yeah. It looks like Merlogic's Reddit profile is still active actually.
Oh, really? Oh, he's still
Yeah,
he's still
he's
going on.
still
He's still.
active on Reddit. He
Oh,
this
okay, that's good.
last time he typed something was 11 months ago. And
Oh,
it
whoa.
was indeed on a martial arts Reddit subreddit. So it seems the martial arts rumors about him are true.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I didn't even check his profile.
Yeah, he seems into martial arts now, I guess.
Huh. Is he still weird about it? Like, are the posts like weird? Like, is he trying to like go to karate
No, what
classes and
he's saying, the comment here on the martial arts thing is just, "Nah, my guy, they need to take that AEW deal. Would they really wanna go to NXT?" So I guess he's just arguing about, like, which teams and which people are gonna go to which company or whatever. It's just, like, standard, like, sports fan arguments he's doing
oh,
here, I
wow,
think.
he's actually kind of graduated to a semi-normal person.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of his stuff here, he's, like, in the r/Pokemon, r/Gravity Falls, and it seems he's looking semi-normal here. Like, he's
Huh.
just getting into normal, like, Reddit arguments with people, I
I
think.
like that. I like that he's still a Gravity Falls fan
Yeah.
after getting brutally. Well, I mean, Gravity Falls is a very good show. It's a good cartoon. I'll give it that.
I
So,
have never seen it, but I've heard good things about it. He's also what's this? He's in a subreddit called Amphibia a lot. I don't know what that is. It looks like a Disney show, so I guess he's still into cartoons, I guess.
oh yeah, that's like the Frog Show.
Yeah. Oh, sure. He's into one called Young Justice as well. It looks like he's just into a lot of cartoons and getting into Reddit arguments about people with people
He's
about them.
he's kind of had his development backwards because usually, weirdos like this, they sort of start off, normal cartoon stuff, and then they develop the weird fetish moments. But he's kind of like just got all of that out of his system and has now got into just enjoying
Yeah,
cartoons.
maybe he's just better at hiding it at this point, but he's like, not. I can't find anything recent from, or semi recent. Again, last time I was active was 11 months ago, but can't find anything semi recent here.
Huh, good for him.
Oh
Good for
no,
Wonder
never
Bread
mind.
guy.
I
Oh,
I scrolled down a bit in Young Justice. This is downvoted. It has 13 downvotes,
oh
and
no.
it's got a thing here. Episode 16 left me in a moral conflict as to who I want to waifu more, Magan in her human disguise or Perdita. The comment under that is, dude, Perdita is like 13 years old. So that's where Marfred guy is at now. He wants to waifu a fictional 13-year-old.
Well, I don't know what I expected. We we
Yeah,
we almost had a happy ending until we
we
saw that,
almost
and
did. He's oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. He's on r/Mr. Medicare talking about what
oh
games
no.
does Mr. Medicare play, and he's also talking about Dankula. He's standing for
Oh!
Dankula Medicare.
Oh, of course he is!
Oh my god. Oh my god, he's doing triple parentheses on the word bureaucrats.
Of course he is. Like, again, like, we should stop reading because we almost had a happy ending, We almost had a happy ending. And now we know that this weirdo with the worst fucking opinions on everything is somehow gotten worse.
Yeah, he's getting into arguments about Medicare and Sorgon and Dankula and also doing triple parentheses. That's great. Okay, so Wonderbread Guy is also on the Doki Doki Literature Club Reddit,
Of
and
course
he's
he is. Of course he
Doki
is.
Doki Literature Club is good. Don't.
I know, but all the fans, it's so weird because yeah, okay, it's good game. It's very
It's
good
very
and
good.
lovely, but its fan base are so fucking weird.
Look, he's like throwing shade at Yuri here, which sucks because Yuri is obviously best girl, and he's apparently obsessed with Monica. He's got a thing here. What's Monica's favorite ice cream? I like to think coffee mixed with vanilla.
Is his new thing ice cream now? Like instead of Wonder Bread, he just fondles the ice cream now, and it's like what her favorite ice cream is like. Sir, take your fingers out of the ice cream. I wonder I hope it's chocolate or vanilla.
Also, yeah, he definitely has a weird fetish for Shihiro from Danganronpa. Unsurprising. That's great. It's just getting more and more cursed. Yeah, as the further down you go in Wonder Bread's Guys Reddit history, the more horny it gets. Like this is we got from just him arguing about like cartoons and WWE and getting into normal arguments, and to like this being super horny. Everything this guy's writing, like when you go down far enough, is horny. It's just all of it's horny. Oh, here he's arguing about King of the Hill and how it went down here from downhill from season 9.
Oh my god, I want to personally go up to this guy and say, "Shut the fuck up! I'm some
Yeah,
Wonder
really.
Bread. Fuck
Me
off!"
too. Yeah.
He's like a
Oh,
sentient YouTube comment.
he is. Yeah, he is. Weirdly horny and weirdly angry and argumentative. Yeah, he is.
And of no value whatsoever.
This game literally craps on an interesting concept many people often thought about. Do you have any idea how useless Paper Mario is as a party member? His only purpose is, since he's a 2D object, he can slide between crevices between walls and maybe find a coin block hidden in the background or some shit. Nothing of the depth.
5 minutes later.
And color splashes battle mechanics are somehow even worse than they were in Sticker Star, which completely fucking blows my mind as to how that could even be possible.
Shut the fuck up! Just shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! You know, fucking Merlogic! Get a life! Fuck off! I liked you better when you were just horny about deforestation!
Oh god, well he hasn't posted in 11 months, so clearly he did
Thank
log
God.
off, it seems.
I want to go to his house and punch him.
So,
Cut that out.
Well,
Okay.
his stocks are leaked, so we can do that. Alright, thank you, Alex. Now, y'all know what time it is? That's right, it is Seagal o'clock, baby.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
Stevie boy.
our beautiful, beautiful boy. If you haven't listened to the Seagal segment from last episode, I'll highly recommend doing that because it provides a lot of important context, and also it was a pretty good segment if I do say so myself. So as a refresher though, we left things off in the late 90s, where Steven's career had started going downhill after he starred in the beautiful, beautiful flop that was On Deadly Ground. He'd also been proclaimed to be the reincarnation of a 17th century Buddhist monk, and he was on his third marriage. Lots going on, in other words. He's gonna be a lot less busy this episode, unfortunately, because as previously mentioned, his career had taken a big downturn. But there's still some fun stuff in here. So, in the years following On Deadly Ground, Seagal went on to star in a string of underperforming and poorly rated movies, with a few more successful exceptions, including Executive Decisions, where he was killed off after about 45 minutes of screen time. And that's one of his more successful of that decade, so out. In 1998, Seagal was finally banished to the shameful direct-to-video format.
The Shadow Realm.
The first movie of this era in his career was The Patriot, another environmental thriller, since his last one, On Deadly Ground, did so well. Steven produced this with his own money, and it was in large part shot at his own farm in Montana. To quote Vice writer Jordan Foisey, "This movie did not make it to theaters, and it foretells the next almost 2 decades of his career. Direct-to-video or streaming services, shoddily made movies, lethargic in pace, Seagal himself bloated, looking like a goateed, overripe grape."
Oof.
Yeah, pretty
Oh.
harsh words from Vice writer for Jordan Foisey there. Yeah. So in 5 years, Steven Seagal had managed to go from one of the hottest action stars in Hollywood to a complete nobody. Amazing. Now, in 2009, after a decade of flops, Steven must have resigned himself to the fact that his blockbuster days were over, because that year, he decided to become a reality TV star
no.
instead.
I mean, isn't being like a Buddhist monk, you know, the messiah enough? Like, he has to do this.
No, it's not enough. He has to do this, yes. Nothing will ever be enough. Steven Seagal, lawman, centers on Steven Seagal somehow being given actual legal powers of arrest. This madness is apparently allowed because Steven is supposedly a deputy chief of Louisiana.
I mean, I can
somehow.
understand that, you know, a lot of shit just flies in Louisiana, especially with the current situation. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll go with it.
I mean, this was in
Oh no, in
2009.
2009 I could
though.
believe it. Yeah.
And not just that, but Seagal claims he has actually been secretly working as an officer for nearly 2 decades.
Okay,
at that
okay,
point.
all right. Look, he's made quite a lot of claims, and I couldn't believe it because he literally is the
Yes.
Messiah. But from what we found from the past
Yep.
episode, but is there anything to back that up at all?
Well, he provided some evidence, but that evidence, as we'll see, is dubious at best. So, if we are to humor the assertion that Steven Seagal is qualified to do police work, how did Steven Seagal become a cop? Well, in the late 80s, Steven apparently gave Louisiana deputies training in martial arts, unarmed combat, and fucking marksmanship, because apparently he's qualified to do that too.
Did he teach them guitar as well?
Would not be surprised. He apparently impressed the sheriff so much that the sheriff just offered to let Seagal become one of his cops, just like that.
Yeah.
As one does, as
That happens,
often
yeah.
happens.
I know like something similar happened with like Elvis. Like he just
really?
like met up with like Richard Nixon and was like, hey, can I be a drug officer? It's like Nixon's like, oh, of course.
Wait,
course.
really? I didn't know that. Oh, the sounds. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
So Elvis just becomes like this drug
I'm on
officer.
drugs.
It's just like, what the
Oh,
I'm
right
all
on.
fucked up.
So cool.
No.
Yeah. I'm all fucked up.
You ain't nothing but a arrest that I'm gonna make. I don't know. I can't do Elvis. Oh,
Well, I sure hope you're not planning on doing Elvis. He's been dead for quite a while now.
No. I saw him at the back of Tesco's last week.
This is an Elvis Presley death truther
Yeah.
podcast now. So, as evidence of his claims, a photo from Steven Seagal's apparent 80s swearing-in ceremony is provided. But there's a slight issue with that
really?
photo.
I'm
Yeah,
so
really.
shocked. What if it's the issue?
As LA Times writer Scott Glover puts it appears the photo was taken 20 years and at least 20 pounds after the fact. Everyone keeps just owning him.
I mean, from his I
Oh,
know that
no.
he's a martial artist, so he can take a punch, but there's a limit. Jeez.
Yeah, yes. And there's another slight issue with the story as well. Seagal claims to have attended a police academy in LA, but there's absolutely no record of him being there or being certified.
Well, obviously it was top secret, like his
Obviously,
CIA
yeah.
days and
Yeah,
and
yeah,
his
of
martial
course.
arts training. It was top secret.
That's a possibility, but it's also possible he was probably lying about
What do you mean?
this.
Are you trying to tell me that Steven Seagal would just lie about his own prowess and achievements?
Yeah, it's shocking, I know.
I
Deeply
can't
shocking,
believe
deeply
that.
disturbing news.
I find that shocking.
Yeah, I think the split timeline here
That's
is
true.
actually split timeline
Yeah.
theory probably is better here. Even so, he's still got this dumbass show where he gets to LARP as a cop. He gets a hand-selected elite team of deputies to bring with him as he responds to crimes in progress. And that must fucking suck, being put on the squad whose literal only job is to babysit this large man-child as he gets to bottle around and pretend to cop. That's gotta fucking suck, being put on Seagal duty.
It sounds like very Ross Kemp.
Wait, who's Ross Kemp? Should I know who that is?
He is another, baby man, action man. He's like he was on a soap called EastEnders,
Nice.
and he was like, yeah,
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that.
and he's
Sure.
like, he goes to like various dangerous things. Like he goes to the world's most dangerous prisons. It's so dangerous. I got out of there just in time. But it's like there's no real threat, going on. But he's like, but he talks like
shit,
this.
he's like one of those clickbait YouTubers.
I mean,
He's one of those clickbait YouTubers who's like, oh, I swear, guys, the moment I left, it actually got really dangerous. I almost got hit by like 3 cars at the same time,
a
guys. I
little bit.
swear.
Although he is actually in some dangerous situations. Go on, go for it.
Hi, I'm Ross Kemp. I just want to say, I was in the most dangerous place. J.K. Rowling's living room. I asked her, can you say trans rights? And she looked at me, dead ass, and said, No.
So go out of there!
She drew a wand. And I fucking got out of there.
Avada transphobia! Yeah.
Okay.
J.K. Rowling's Patronus is Linda Bellos.
Oh no.
All right, I'm gonna read a little bit from a LA Times article about Steven Seagal lawman because it is truly something else. These are the jects, the projects. Seagal says as he and his partner roll by in an SUV and the actor takes note of suspicious head cocking, feet planting, and wrist flicking. But moments later, a radio call about a carjacking tests the actor's inner zen. As the subject speeds by, Seagal begins yelling and slapping the side of the vehicles, in which he's the one riding shotgun. "Get him, Johnny! Get him!" Seagal tells the driver, Colonel John Furtado. As Fortunato puts the pedal to the metal, Seagal scans the road ahead and begins barking out directions. "To the right," he says. "Steven, just let me drive," Fortunato replies tersely. "Look, I'm just telling you where the holes are," Seagal says. I've seen the clip of this. It really is just him
It's like
sitting
an
there
actual
to the
child.
right, to the left, to the right. Yeah.
Potholes are no joke.
Potholes are no fucking joke. Moments later, the partners arrive at the scene where the suspect has been apprehended. "Where he at? Where he at?" asks Seagal, who either has very poor grammar or has cleverly adapted the vernacular of the streets. There is much chaos, with someone yelling for a taser, followed by the unmistakable sipping sound that emanates from the device. Seagal arrives just in time to restore order. "All right, everybody calm down," he says. That's his contribution to that case. Amazing.
What? That's it?
Yeah, that's what he did in that clip. Yeah, that's all he did.
That's all he does. Is just sort of supervise. Well, not even supervise.
he's
just
kind of
pothole watch.
he's kind of
and
just
then
in a
just go,
ride
all right,
along.
calm down, everybody. There was a crime in here. Stop it.
Seagal, who describes himself as one of the highest-ranking Aikido instructors in the world, sees a distinct link between martial arts and law enforcement, which he frequently mentions. "Criminals usually prey on weakness," he says. "They can smell it. Those of us who have studied martial arts as long as I have, we can usually see those kind of predators. But seeing them is not enough. Seagal trains fellow deputies how to do battle with bad guys so they don't get disarmed and
I
shot with
think
their
they
own
already would have
guns."
had that training, Stephen.
No. Steven is coming in. He's teaching these incompetent officers how to do their jobs. He's Seagal explaining to them.
I mean, I know that, from what we've seen on the news, the police are rather incompetent in America, but I mean, they would know how to kill people. I mean, we've seen they know how to kill people.
Oh, yeah, they do that, yeah.
Alex, darling, they're not just incompetent in America. They're very incompetent in Britain too. Did you not see that
Oh yeah, of
video
course.
footage of like a cavalry? Okay. Picture scene. So we're outside like 10 Downing Street protesting. Like everything's cool. We're shouting Black Lives Matter, no justice, no peace, yada yada yada. And fucking Bobby and his mates, by which I mean the cops, decide to show up. Fucking tall horse motherfuckers, and it's just like, oh, okay, and then charge, and then this guy, he's charging, and it's like he hits his head into a traffic light.
Oh,
Yeah,
that owns.
that was so
And
good.
he just gets decked by a
that's
truck.
really,
See, if
really
Steven
funny.
Seagal came to the UK, that he could have avoided that. With martial arts, he would have karate chopped that traffic light, and thus looked like a badass and saved the day.
He wouldn't even come riding in a horse. He would just come barreling in, like a very overweight Terminator in T2, just running after the car.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. You can look at me as a movie star and say, "Hey, Steven Seagal's here. He's a movie star." He tells a group of deputies about to undergo training. Or you can wipe that shit out of your head and go, "Steven Seagal can save my life." As a world-class marksman, quote unquote, Steven also shares some of his amazing Zen shooting techniques.
Zen shooting
Zen
techniques.
shooting techniques, yes.
You know, I don't think this is what the Buddhists had in mind.
I think this is exactly what they had in mind. The Zen masters in Zen archery, they don't pull the arrow, they push the arrow. It's the same with that pistol, he tells one deputy apprentice. "I want you to take that front sight," Seagal says, pointing to the officer's gun. "Then I want you to put it right there," he says, pointing to the target. "Now, squeeze."
uh, uh,
I don't know about amazing, but the technique is certainly Zen in its simplicity, the article ends.
that's. I'm just
He's
imagining. I'm
literally
just
just telling them how
imagining
to.
just these
Yeah.
poor fuckers who are like on Stigal babysitting duty. It's like, you know, like just going home and it's like, yeah, he told me how to fire a gun. Um,
Yeah, he claimed he was doing Zen, the art of the Zen archer masters, as he just told me how to
yeah,
point a
and the
gun at target and
simplest
shoot.
thing you could possibly do as a cop is just squeeze the trigger,
Yeah.
point it at a target, and pull the trigger. You have mastered it, my son. Now you go forth and shoot some minorities. Ugh.
Speaking of shooting
Oh
minorities,
no,
oh
he
shit, you know
hasn't.
what? You know what's gonna be? No, no, he hasn't. But someone he's been hanging
Oh
out
great.
with certainly
Oh
has.
no.
In a Lawman episode that, for obvious reasons, went unaired, Steven accompanied the exceptionally racist sheriff Joe Arpaio, who we all know and
What
love,
the
don't we,
fuck?
folks? Yeah, he
Uh,
accompanied Joe Arpaio on a raid against a man suspected of running a cockfighting ring.
hey, because I am the big dumb. Tell me who that is.
Oh, he's like, you know how racist cops usually are in America? Well, this guy was fired for being too racist. He was just
Mhm.
detaining like every like Mexican person he saw, just fucking detain him, lock him up like illegally, and he got fired from being a sheriff for being too racist for that. Like he was like illegally racist. That's how racist he was. They had to take action against him at that point. And he's like a big, huge figure within the like far right for like being super racist. They like loved this guy. So yeah,
Cool.
that's Joe Arpaio, Steven's buddy.
That
So
cool. You fell for my archiving trick.
your archiving trick, just getting people to explain who someone is to you.
Yeah, it was my trick to get you to like, so like the people know whatever. Like, look, this joke
Your
is a train
archiving
wreck.
trick of getting someone to explain to you who someone is. The famous trick. I have been tricked. So they went on a raid against the man suspected of running a cockfighting ring, and Stephen wanted to join this raid because, and I quote, "Animal cruelty is one of my pet peeves." Which, okay, that's nice of
It
him.
makes
That's
sense.
cool. Or at least it would be fucking nice if he and Arpaio's approach to stopping animal cruelty wasn't to literally drive a fucking SWAT tank directly into
What?
the house, killing hundreds of roosters and
What?
also a puppy in the
What
process.
the
They
fuck?
killed a
What?
puppy! They killed a puppy and had like hundreds of roosters by running it over with a SWAT tank. I'm not making
No,
this
so
up.
so see, I I what
We're going to stop animal cruelty and then just fucking run over.
did he just decide?
What?
Did
Sorry?
he just decide to do that? Like, was that planned? What was their plan? Like,
I don't know what the plan was. The plan was to drive a SWAT tank into the house and somehow free the animals by doing that, I guess. But they obviously just ran the animals over with their huge SWAT tank. As one would do when they run into a huge SWAT tank over a
I
chicken coop and a puppy.
fucking god.
The show understandably got sued for this, but the charges were unfortunately dropped because the guy, actually had been running like illegal cockfighting ring.
yeah, but
So apparently we can't also punish Seagal for running over a puppy. We just need to punish that guy apparently.
that's yeah, that I mean, to be honest, like, yeah, cockfights are bad. That is animal cruelty, but like running over and
Running over a puppy with a tank is
just
also very bad.
destroying this guy's fucking property. Jesus Christ.
I remember like listening to a Chapo Trap House episode a while back, and they were like they were talking about the Steven Seagal Lawman show and about him running over dogs with tanks, and I was like, haha, such comedic over exaggeration, very funny. Okay, obviously I wasn't that robotic, but that was that was my thoughts basically. And then I'm reading this right now, and it's like, oh fuck, they were not joking. That literally happened. So that's great.
Oh my god.
Okay, as a side note, Seagal and Arpaio's friendship stretches beyond TV episodes and dog murders, as Arpaio has also written a foreword to Seagal's novel,
Oh
The Way of the
no.
Shadow Wolves.
The Way of the Shadow Wolves. The Way of
The Way of the Shadow Wolf, Steven Seagal's novel. Wait, it has a great. I forgot to write the like undertitle down. It's The Deep State and the Hijacking of America is the little subtitle.
Okay, their friendship is starting to have a lot more sense now. It's just like,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like some
Oh,
proto QAnon shit.
yeah, they're both racist and awful. Mystery solved.
So in this book, President Barack Obama, and in the foreword he says any like resemblance to actual figures is purely coincidental, but Obama is also a character, which is very subtle. So Obama is in cahoots with the deep state, Islamist terrorists, and Mexican drug cartels, and they're trying to establish a jihadi caliphate in America. The only ones who can stop them are the Jedi-style Native American shadow wolves, who's like who actually apparently is a thing that does exist within law enforcement. Like the Native American squad shadow wolves apparently is a thing, but they have borderline supernatural powers as he portrays them
Oh
here.
god, this is like many different levels of racism. Like it's got the antagonistic
Yeah,
racism of like, anti-Semitic, anti-Arab conspiracy theories, but it's also got the fetishization of Native Americans, which is just as
yeah, he
oh
loves like on yeah his movie what's called On Deadly
yeah.
Ground. I talked about in the previous episode. Is just him like becoming a white savior of Native Americans. He loves doing that. He has a weird thing with Native Americans. So yeah, this book very like racist against Muslim people and very racist against Mexicans as well, but very not racist against Native Americans who he
Uh,
loves for some
it's
mysterious.
still pretty racist in the same way that
Okay, yeah, sure,
it
benevolent
feels
racism,
like,
sure.
it feels like a Tumblr post really more than a book.
And yet it is a book, an amazing, beautiful book. So, besides reality TV and highbrow literature, one of Steven's other creative ventures is music. In 2005, he released an album called Songs from the Crystal Cave.
Ugh.
Again, I'm quoting from Wikipedia. Hate to do it, but the way they word it here is very funny to me. Seagal is credited with lead vocals, rhythm, and lead guitar, and appears on the cover and throughout the liner notes, emotively playing and posing with the guitar. The style can best be described as outsider country meets world, music meets Aikido,
But
whatever the fuck that means.
what means like does he just like
Outsider country meets world, music meets
those are just
Aikido.
that doesn't no
I don't know
that
where
doesn't make any sense.
I
Like
don't know where Wikipedia got that from, if that's something he's claimed, or if that's just something that's how the
how
Wikipedia
how does
editors are
that
describing it.
how
I don't
does
know,
that
but it's very
even work?
beautiful.
It's like saying like, oh, this is this my genre is rock slash rap slash sandwich. Like it doesn't work. These are things are not
His album
related.
also is rock slash rap slash sandwich. It's every genre, Alex. It's every genre at once, and it's amazing. Many of the songs reflect Seagal's esoteric Buddhist and spiritualist stance, while also incorporating standard song tropes about relationships and other things. Sputnik Music ran a scathing review that labeled the release words that Sid sings and condemned Seagal's laughably bad guitar playing.
Aw.
AllMusic published a mixed but supportive review where they said that the album's mixture of styles and emotional tones from song to song was slipshod and haphazard. However, it was also endearing in its own way and presented the listeners with a good vibes experience. And I love good vibes experience, so I, of course, personally have listened to this
Oh
album,
god.
and I have no idea how to feel about it. It's like it's this disjointed Frankenstein's monster of an album that tries to like combine every genre possible, and it's weird. And the songs do range in quality from endearing and listenable to the kind of songs that make me think he actually is in the CIA, and this was made for some secret audio torture experiment of theirs. So I put together a highlight reel of this album, and I'm quite excited to hear what you two have to say about
I'm
it.
sorry. I said I was sorry for Gigi Allen, okay? I said I was sorry. You don't have to do this.
I'm getting my revenge! I'm getting my
Ah.
revenge. This is Route 23, and it's got some sensual guitar playing. Listen to Steven Seagal playing that guitar.
Oh yeah. What? What? What is he? That what? That okay.
This one is Lollipop, and I hate it. I hate it very much.
What?
I hate this. I hate this.
It's audio
Every
torture, see
single
what I mean?
time it's a surprise when the rap comes in. It's like it lulls me into a false sense of security that the rap's not going to happen, and it does.
Yeah.
Oh, shut up. Shut the fuck up.
Okay, this one is called Strut. It's truly, truly, truly awful.
Did he just say punani? Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he just said punani. Steven Seagal just said punani.
The lyrics in his own verse gets worse.
Don't look at their bud.
This is Gory, spelled with 2 E's instead of a Y.
Hey.
Is he auditioning for the Lion King?
Damn
What the
it.
fuck is going on?
Let's just pretend that break didn't happen, yeah? Just back to normal with the song. Truly avant-garde masterpiece.
I think this is what a psychotic episode sounds like.
Yeah, it is. So this one is The Light, and it's the last song of the album. We made it gamers. That's my revenge for the Gigi episode.
Congratulations, you've actually found something worse than Gigi Allen. I would rather watch the video where Gigi Allen eats his own shit than listen to that ever again.
I'll probably have edited this down for the actual episode, but just so such the listeners know, I made them listen to 9 minutes and 18 seconds
Thanks,
of this.
Lee. I really value our
You're
friendship.
welcome.
This is what really makes it.
Yeah,
worth
me
it.
too. You are welcome.
Lee, I haven't done anything. Why are you making me suffer alongside?
You'll probably do something at some point.
It just in
This is
advance.
preemptive revenge. This is preemptive revenge.
Oh, okay. Okay. You know what? Next, okay, I'm gonna see if I can dig up some dirt on Ross Camp.
Nice.
And you get out of there!
And I'll do it. And then I'll try to do every segment with him speaking in a Ross Camp
Oh
voice.
no, Alice, don't do that to us and don't do that to yourself. It's not worth it.
No, I want to hear it. Please do that to us, and please do that to yourself.
Okay.
Debase yourself for our amusement. Do it.
Yes.
That's what comedy is, right? It's just like
Are you not entertained?
Absolutely. Oh, you're not entertained, yeah.
Are you not entertained?
I wish I could do a Steven Seagal impression right about now, but I can't.
Just do like an impression of Swedish equivalent.
A Swedish equivalent of Steven Seagal. I fucking wish we had one. But alas.
The world can only handle one.
Alright, so.
Look, I'm pretty sure Peter Sweden is the equivalent.
He is not buff enough.
Are you not entertained?
Oh, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. That was amazing.
That was beautiful. Pete, the not so sweet should be proud.
Yeah. All right. So before we get into Steven's most recent exploits, we need to address his love life again.
Oh, do we have to?
Sorry, but we do. Steven divorced his third wife, actress Kelly LeBrock, way back in 1996.
Oh, but they had such a
Mhm.
stable relationship where he just got out of
Right?
a big missed relationship and got her pregnant and married her.
Yeah, yeah. He just had a bigamy scandal. Yeah.
Oh,
So this time, Steven actually managed to stay unmarried for more than a year, for 13 years, in fact.
Ooh.
Very impressive. His fourth marriage was to the Mongolian dancer Erdentnia Batushk, also known as El, who's apparently like pretty famous for being a Mongolian dancer, like one of the more famous Mongolian dancers, I
oh well,
guess.
there's so many. There's so many. It's hard to
Yeah.
tell which one.
But that's the thing, like she doesn't even have her own Wikipedia page, but she's one of the most like popular ones. That kind of says a lot about the Mongolian dancing scene, I think. So across all these marriages, Stephen had 7 children, as far as we know, which includes Japanese writer and actress Fujitani Ayako, as well as American model Arissa LeBrock, who looks very much like a young, gender-bent Steven Seagal.
Ouch. Why you gotta do that?
No, she looks kinda handsome in a way still, but she does look like young gender-bent Steven Seagal still. Also, aside from his 7 or more biological children, he is also, bizarrely enough, the guardian of, watch me mispronounce this so fucking badly, Yabshi Pan Rin Sing Wangmo, popularly known as the Princess of Tibet.
What?
Yeah, he's the guardian of the Princess of Tibet. She is an important figure not only in Tibetan Buddhism, but also Tibetan Chinese politics, as she's the only known child of the 10th Panchen Lama of Tibet. The Panchen Lama, for context, is the only person who, within the Gelugpa sect, the most dominant sect of Tibetan Buddhism, is considered to have as much spiritual authority as the Dalai Lama. And
Oh.
she's that guy's daughter, so she's kind of a big deal.
You can't even be put in charge of a car. Like, why are you putting it in charge of something so important? Oh my god.
Quick aside, when I started researching action actor Steven Seagal, I did not know I would be learning this much about Tibetan Buddhism and all the different like sects of it and all the important people within it, but here we are. So, anyways, when Renji, as the princess prefers to call herself, which I'm quite happy about because it means I don't have to pronounce that very long name.
It's good of her.
Yeah. When Renji studied in the United States, Seagal was her minder and bodyguard. Now, how the fuck did this happen? Well, I'll read you a bit from an article in The New Yorker where journalist Isabel Hilton went to meet with Renji and, by extension, Seagal. Seagal was sitting on a long couch in a cluttered living room, fielding telephone calls. A huge oil painting hung on the wall behind him. It depicted a Tibetan guru surrounded by monks. Young aides came and went, announcing new calls. Behind another couch, a large collection of guitars were
Oh my
piled up at
god,
crazy
no.
angles.
Oh no, the sign of the beast.
Yeah, I don't know if I mentioned this anywhere else in the document, but he has an impressive collection of guitars. He like
I kind
owns
of
guitars
assumed.
that were owned by like very, very like famous guitarists and shit. It's
I
pretty
just
cool.
assumed there's always like a scene of him, and like in this whole saga, he's just constantly playing the freaking guitar.
Absolutely. Seagal looked up and asked if I knew a journalist who, I later discovered, had written a series of articles about what he suggested were Seagal's connections with mafia figures.
Um,
I have no good. Okay, quick aside from that, I did not write this down, but there's a lot going on with that shit. Seagal had some connections with mafia figures, and right, like he was threatened by some mobsters into giving them cuts of like the profits of his movies.
okay, you probably should have mentioned that sooner because that kind of is a bit of a game changer as well.
Yeah,
Like Jesus.
yeah, he was like I think it was like an era of a very famous like mafia family. I think the Gambino family or something like that. They just sat him down in a restaurant, threatened him, and for Seagal to give him money as like a cut from his different movies because I don't know somehow he should do that, I guess. Someone like who knew about the situation said like if Steven Seagal had said like the wrong word there, he could have just gotten killed. Like the serious
I
situation, I
don't
guess.
see. I
Steven Seagal got very scared and he just handed over the
Well, I
money
mean,
without
that doesn't
question.
sound like Steven Seagal because I think he would have karate chopped him and then, like, just saved the
Yeah.
day by
Yeah.
taking them
But,
all out
I
one by
mean,
one.
like, well, look, like, so, like, it wouldn't matter if he got shot anyway because he just reincarnates.
He
yeah,
is the
yeah, he hasn't
Messiah.
reincarnated once, that's true. He is a reincarnation of a 17th century monk, after all. He is capable of reincarnating himself, it seems.
Yeah, so we got nothing to worry about.
Yeah, of course not. And like afterwards, some journalists were like looking into this shit, and one of them got like I don't remember what they got like some symbol as a wording. I think it might have been a dead bird or something like that with the road with note like stop looking into this.
What the fuck?
And the FBI had started investigating like whether Seagal was the one with that note there or someone else. We still don't know to this day, but that's the context for that line about Seagal's
Holy
connection with mafia
shit!
figures.
Like, I'm sorry, that's just an aside as well. I'm just Jesus.
That's just an aside. Yeah, couldn't think of any good place to fit it in, but
God. Oh,
yeah, there's just so much going on with this
okay.
guy.
Yeah. All right. Continue. I'm sorry. It's just fuck.
Yeah, I have no good experiences with journalists, Seagal said, but I hear that you understand that Himalayan politics are. He paused, looking for the right word. Deep. He gave me a significant look. I asked how Seagal had come to have charge of the Panchen Lama's daughter. When Renji was 8 or 9, we got word that she wasn't safe. The Tibetan government in exile had its own spies, so she had to get out. It wasn't going to be a kidnapping, but an amiable trade-off. Her mother was to remain in China, and she would get out without it seeming absolute. When she was 10 or 11, we got word that it was going to happen. I spoke to my friends there, and they said I was one of the few people who could protect and take care of her. Be her father figure, her guardian.
Oh, okay.
Try to guide her so she kept her heritage in the Dharma.
Okay. I can imagine that he was asked to help. I don't think that. I think that he added in his mind that he would be a father figure and
And a
and a guardian.
guardian, and guide her so she kept her heritage in the Dharma.
Yeah.
You know, he's famously a Buddhist icon, and he is the one who has to guide her so she keeps her heritage in the Dharma.
I mean, I mean, to be honest, with that, like, I would have like thought that that was bullshit before, but considering that he just shat himself the second he gets threatened by the mafia, I'm just calling bullshit on the whole thing of his CV
Yeah.
of protecting anybody.
Yeah, as we'll see here, Seagal's account differs from that of other
No
insiders,
shit.
and indeed, that of Renji herself. She was not in danger in Beijing, and her leaving seems to have been straightforward. Seagal did, however, send his plane to collect her when she moved from New York to Los Angeles. This is my home here. No, okay, this is her talking actually, sorry about that voice. This is my home here, she said to me. He was always there for me. My mother and Steven Seagal are the most important people in my life.
Oh boy.
Fucking surreal. Poor Renji. Seagal finishes his call. He said that he was closely watched when he went to China. He said that he had been studying Buddhism and martial arts since he was a child, and that in Japan, where he lived for a while, he had often been told he was a reincarnate lama. So he's just adding shit
Yeah.
here. He's just making shit up here. He did not study Buddhism and martial arts since he was a child, and was not told in Japan that he was a reincarnate lama. He's just making shit up at this point. The Dalai Lama's entourage had changed, he said. Relations seemed to have cooled since I had last seen him in Dharamsala. The danger for Renji now is getting in with the wrong people, Seagal said. She has a pure heart. I just tell her I'm always there for her. Any wisdom I have is at her disposal. You're born naked, you die naked, he
What?
added. In between.
Just
Was that For that, Alex.
Why would he
Cool,
add
cool.
that?
Why not?
Oh.
In between, you should find a spiritual guide. Certain things you have to do on your own. I said goodnight, and we left. You see what a nice man he is? Renji said, anxiously.
Ugh.
I think she's thinking that meeting could have gone better.
It's crazy Uncle Seagal.
Yeah, crazy Uncle
Oh,
Seagal, yeah.
Uncle Steven, you silly sausage.
I like to believe that the differing stories here are due to another of one of those cases where the timeline split, because this bizarre action thriller Stevens come up with, where he has to protect and guide the princes of Tibet from China, and also be a spiritual guide, is much too funny for me to accept it's a lie.
I believe that, like, just going to the shops, he does an action roll ahead of ahead of her every single time, and she has to just kind of pretend that she's a judge. Like, oh yeah, you scared him off.
Unfortunately, as we'll establish a bit later, Steven Seagal can't do action roles anymore. His body shape is not
He
fitting
just
for
does a
that
roll.
anymore.
He doesn't do an action roll. He just rolls.
No, I'm not sure he even does a role. There's like one movie, I didn't include this, but there's one movie review where they mentioned that in one of his recent movies, he doesn't actually like he remains like straight up the entire time. Like he doesn't ever bend down or like bend his waist in any sort of way because he doesn't seem to have the energy to. So just even during the sex scene, like
Ugh.
remains like like doesn't bend or
Ugh.
like move his thighs or anything. He just remains like he lowers himself onto her. Like
Oh.
he doesn't like move in any sort of way. He just doesn't have the energy for
I
it.
mean, I can believe that is how he has sex, so
True. Alright, so as we've established at this point, Steven Seagal likes to get obsessed with other countries and cultures. First his weeaboo phase, then his Native American phase, then his Tibetaboo phase. But what country was next? Motherfucking Russia.
oh my god.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. So in
Oh.
2013, where our records of his obsession begin, he became a representative for Russian arms manufacturer Ursus. Not only did he promotionally represent them, he also lobbied for lessening the restrictions for US import of Russian firearms.
Uh-huh.
Stephen even worked with them to develop a signature long-range rifle called Ursus by Steven Seagal. And no, I don't know why it's named as if it were a perfume, so don't ask. He did. I think he actually
know-
did do a perfume
You know
at
what?
one
Why
point,
not?
though.
Why not? Gun, perfume,
Yeah,
same thing.
yeah, he did. He did actually do a perfume at one point, and it was called Scent of Action. Just gonna mention. It was early 2000s. After his line of failed energy drinks, he also did
Was it the
perfume.
same
Scent of
liquid?
Action.
You just put in a different bottle.
Probably, yeah. So in 2014, Seagal referred to Russian President Vladimir Putin as one of the great living world leaders and expressed support for Russia's annexation of Crimea. In 2016, Seagal was granted Russian citizenship.
What?
According to
He's
he was granted
He's a
Russian
Russian citizen now?
According to Dmitry Peskov, Russian press secretary, Seagal had been asking quite insistently and over a lengthy period to be granted citizenship. Like a child just fucking yapping and yapping until they finally just relent and go like, fine, have the fucking citizenship then. While Seagal has stated that he would like to consider Putin as a friend, Press Secretary Peskov has stated that Putin isn't necessarily a huge fan of Seagal and his work. That
Oh,
fucking feel.
ouch.
Yeah, that fucking feel when you're in a parasocial relationship with the goddamn president of Russia. Hate when that happens. So even so, in 2018, Putin appointed Seagal as special envoy to the United States. He's apparently been considering that for a few years, as there is a Guardian article from 2015 about how Putin had proposed the idea. Back then, the proposal was reportedly met with amusement, but that didn't stop Putin from actually going
Oh,
through with
for
it a
God's
few years
sake.
later. Which is bizarre to say the least. I think that was probably a strategy to throw people off on like Putin's part. Just being unpredictable and throwing people off. I think that's what he was going for. It's gotta be. Right. Aside from Russia and the US, Seagal also has Serbian citizenship, following several visits to the country. And he's even been asked to teach Aikido to Serbian special forces. Very normal stuff.
Is there any evidence for that?
It's fucking Serbia. I don't know who else will get to teach them.
I mean, yeah, it's not like they're getting any other offers, let's be honest. So
He's also just straight up banned from the country of Ukraine.
Yeah, straight up banned.
why?
Yeah, he's so
Uh,
insanely pro-Russian, anti-Ukraine when the Crimea shit went down that they just fucking banned him. He can't go there anymore.
Yeah, so there was a motorcycle group which is actually quite entangled in Ukrainian politics called the Night Wolves.
Wolves again?
Wait, no, the Shadow Wolves was
Oh,
his other
right,
thing, I
but
believe,
still
but it's
wolves.
quite similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, he should be a fan of them, so considering his attachment to the Shadow Wolves.
So they showed up supporting the annexation of Crimea by Russia, depicting the Ukrainian country as being controlled by fascists. The show was attended by 100,000, or some basically
Yeah.
a lot of fucking people, and it was also broadcast suspiciously on Russian state television. Also, your boy Steve showed
Oh
up
my
beside
God.
them.
Yeah, I know. Nice.
But it gets worse. The Night Wolves have a cozy relationship with Putin and the Kremlin. Important thing is Steven Seagal showed up alongside the Night Wolves, and that is why he is not allowed in Ukraine, because
Yeah.
he helped Putin with war crimes.
Yeah, he made a lot of comments at the time about Russia and Ukraine that were not good to
Yeah.
say the least. Yeah.
So he's
Yeah,
complicit in war
Yeah.
crimes, basically.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason he and Putin are buddies, for at least one-sided buddies. I don't think Putin considers Seagal as good a friend as Seagal considers Putin. So Seagal's also, of course, still been making movies during all this time as well. He doesn't really do Aikido anymore in them. He's too old and mainly too out of shape for that, so he just kinda does the bare minimum. Like they choreograph his fight so that he can sit in a chair while doing it. Yeah, that's
King
a
shit.
yeah, absolute king shit. And in a recent movie I watched of his, Sniper Special Ops, absolute torture to sit through, by the
I
way.
have actually heard of that one.
Oh,
Believe it or
there's a
not. They
lot
put
of
it on Channel 5 a
have
lot.
you? There's a lot of sniper movies. It's like a whole series, so it might be one of the other ones, or it might be this one. In which case, I'm sorry. In that movie, he just kind of sits in a single room during all his parts. Like we see him walking once, and that's it. He's very, very stationary in this movie. He's also Seagal has also, I'd be remiss if I didn't at least mention, been incredibly me too'd a shit ton of times.
Yeah, I heard about
To which he decided the best response was to go on Infowars and claim there's a conspiracy against him personally, and that 40% of all Me Too claims are fake.
Oh, well, I'm convinced.
Yeah, I
Yes,
mean, if Steven Seagal went on Infowars and said so, I mean,
yeah, I'm definitely going to believe the kind of war criminal Steven Seagal, who's also the messiah of a messiah-like figure in the Buddhist faith, who has also spent time in Japan and opened supposedly the first dojo there, and is a film director. What the fuck is this man?
and he's also in the CIA and is also a law enforcement officer for several decades now.
I
Can't forget about that part.
How is this man so many things?
I
Yeah.
love this. There was a joke made about this on Discord where it was like, Steven Seagal is alleged.
Yeah.
Because he's just every single this whole Wikipedia page is just Steven Seagal alleged rape,
Yeah.
alleged sexual assault. Just there's so many. I'm sorry, but even if there was a case against fake, against fake, there's not so many, And so, and why Steven Seagal? Like, he's not even that important to make up such a huge lie about.
Yeah, I mean, there's some like allegations against him. There's a sex trafficking allegation that came out during Steven Seagal
Jesus.
Lawman season 2 that had like paused the filming for. It got like dropped in court. That one seems I don't want to say it fake, but it seems a bit fantastical, like the details in it. That one's I'm kind of willing to give him the benefit of the doubt on. But a lot of these other ones seem like very standard, like Me Too stories that I'm very inclined to believe like are true. Like about him like harassing actresses he had power over on sets, like extras and actors
Yeah.
in his movies. Like a lot of the stories seem like very credible, and there's so many of them at this point that I don't believe all of those could be fake. No one cares enough about Steven Seagal to fake that.
Especially in a post-Weinstein and Epstein environment, it's like, yeah, it doesn't seem like something that can be faked.
So we ended on a bit of a bummer there, but that is where we're at with Mr. Seagal. Thank you for going on this journey with me, and sorry about the music.
No, you're not sorry.
No, I'm not
Stop
sorry. You're
lying.
right. You're right. I'm not sorry.
You destroyed Wonderbread Guy for me, and now you've destroyed music for me. I hope
Just
you're
music
happy.
in general.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I'll never be able to, like, listen to music again. I'll just see Stephen Seagal's sunglass burned eyes.
Hey, but at least you're not the one who's gonna have to deal with the Spotify and YouTube recommendations for this.
That
Wait,
is true. You do
wait,
this to yourself.
wait. Watch
Oh no.
Together. Watch Together gives recommendations based on what you watch there. I know because I've been getting Nightcore
Oh.
recommendations from using Watch Together with Monty. So I know. So you
Yeah.
might be getting Steven Seagal recommendations actually.
Hooray! Yay! Thanks, I hate it.
Yeah, me
I
too.
mean, this is the perfect revenge for me completely ruining your Google searches with Gigi Allen, so
Yeah, it is.
it's
Yeah,
fair.
people at home, I want you to know Alex's bullshit does not normally pop up in my emails, but it
Oh
did.
god,
I got an email recommendation from eBay for a Family Guy GG fridge magnet thing.
Yeah, Gigi is infecting
the
all of our computers.
it's the
It's
perfect
awful.
crossover, Family Guy Gigi Allen merch.
Yeah,
And,
Yeah.
again, I'm
truly.
sorry, I literally just linked it in the chat to show you saying, like, "Alice, do I dare buy it?" And then Alice demanded a divorce. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it just got email I'm sorry, I didn't know that would happen. I'm sorry that I gave your emails an STD.
So that is it for this week's episode of the Lot to Unpack Here podcast. Or this bi-week, I guess we're doing this bi-weekly. Alice, you want to tell people where they can find you on the internet?
You can find me crying in the corner on twitter.com at rebelgender. You can also find me at the back of Tesco's just fighting local idiots. I don't know. This joke was
Sure.
going to go somewhere. I want to throw my hands at Alex. And Lee specifically. When
Yeah,
this
yeah.
quarantine's over, you're meeting me behind Tesco's and we're having a duel.
You're meeting me. I'm meeting you behind. Right, I'm getting a ticket just to England just to meet you behind Tesco's and have a duel.
Yeah.
Get off the plane to catch these hands!
Catch these hands, motherfucker!
And Alex, where can people find you?
I don't want them to find me.
Fair.
Not after what I've done. But you can also find me on Twitter at Obscuracom.
All right, you can find me at bewildered_b on Twitter, or in your local mall doing covers of Steven Seagal songs. Thank you very much for tuning into this episode. If you enjoyed it, please do rate, comment, and subscribe. You can also tune in to see us. Sorry?
Black Lives Matter!
Yeah.
Continue.
No
Yee.
justice, no peace.
Yee. You can also tune in to see us play some D&D on Saturdays at the Communes and Comrades YouTube channel, if that's something you're interested in. And until next time, folks, have a good one.
We don't have time to unpack all of that.